guys tonight?
Oh, they're the best team in the league right now. They're humming along. I think they've won 7 in a row. They're 9-1. So, this is an unbelievable measuring stick for us, and we definitely have to be prepared for the game.
Obviously, coming off a good result the other day, how would you describe the team's preparedness for a challenge like this?
I think we're ready. I think after our last game on Wednesday, we want to use that to propel us forward. I think we got a good mindset here in the dressing room, and we look to take off from now on out.
Feels like this group has always elevated in these big games. We talk about sometimes playing down to the opponent, but what have you noticed about how this team responds to these types of games?
Yeah, generally when we play better teams, we play really good hockey. So obviously we're looking forward to that tonight, but at the same time, we gotta make sure we get off to a good start and go from there.
What do you bring to a game like this? What does it mean to you to be thrust into a Saturday night, Boston in town?
It's the same thing as I always do. Come bring some physicality, some leadership, and hope to contribute in any way that I can, help the guys out, and looking for the 2-point here.
What do you make away about how Giordano and everyone kind of got involved there again with connecting on that match?
Yeah, it's great. You want to have team toughness. You want to have team stick togetherness, and I think we've proved that we'll stick up for one another, right? So. I think that's just an element of the game, that has to, that can't be, shied away from, and I think we've done a good job with that so far.
Is it difficult finding a rhythm when you're kind of in the lineup, sometimes out of the lineup? How do you manage that?
Oh, that's a little difficult, but, I always say you got to stay ready instead of get ready, right? So I think for me, it's, just been like I've done in the past, just continue to skate and, make sure I'm working my butt off and, get ready for these opportunities, rather than get ready, stay ready, like I said.
What stood out to you about the way John played the other night?
Oh, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's been unbelievable for the whole part of the whole first part of the year, right? So obviously we look for him to continue that, and we need some guys to step up and contribute as well.
Do you notice anything different about him? Has he added an extra half step of speed this season?
He's just an extremely determined person. That's just the way he is. He's always looking to get better and improve no matter what. Johnny's definitely a guy who leads by example, and I've said that before. So he's a great example.
I think the record speaks for itself. 10-1, 7 in a row. I think they have a group that's been together for a long time, and they obviously have a lot of chemistry and play well together. But they've added, seeing them get some guys back and added some pieces. I think right now them in Vegas are the two teams that stand out in the league as being the best. So it's a great test for us.
How would you describe the team's preparedness for a test like this?
Oh, I think we're ready. We're just like every other game, we prepare the right way in the morning, go over video, go over certain tendencies that they do, and then it's on us as players to bring it on the ice at 7. So obviously we know it's a big game, it's a big night, it's going to be a great atmosphere in our rink, so ready to go.
Ready? Go ahead.
Just taking the option. I mean, you're the oldest skater in the league. You're out here optional skate. Is that something that is that just for your mind? Is it for your legs? Is it just routine?
Get the body going early. Start the process a little bit earlier as we get older and get warm. And for me, I think it's just about I believe in getting out there, getting my nervous system going a little bit in the morning, and just some routine that I've gotten into here over my career, and really enjoy going out for pregame skates, so nothing more than that.
I remember Spezza said that some of the sports science guys are trying to tell maybe they ease off on the optional. Have they tried to convince you of that as well?
No, I think they're pretty good with me making my call on how I feel. I think obviously I'm back-to-backs, don't like going out and get the rest that you can in the morning, but on days like today, I just feel like for me, I don't know what the science says, but getting my nervous system going helps me a lot individually, but other guys it goes the other way. So it's all on the individual, I think.
When Wayne is in the lineup, how does it change the dynamic of the group?
Well, I think obviously he brings that presence, physicality into our team that it goes a long way for teammates out there. So he's been a true pro, obviously being in and out a little bit this year at the start, but when he's been in, I think he's been really good and effective, so it's nice to see him in.
Timothy's playing his first game. Obviously, it could be tough to jump right in mid-season and all that, but what do you remember of the strides he made playing last year?
Yeah, I think what really stood out was how good he was defensively in his own end, and his reads were really bang on. So for a young guy, that's nice to see. Really aware of gaps and reads and defensive play, and I think offensively he's really good with the puck. Has a really good shot, underrated shot, I think, and I think he's just going to continue to get better and better as his career goes on.
What's it like battling a guy like Marchand who can bring the skill and the edginess as well?
Yeah, he's one of the hardest guys, I think, one-on-one, and one of the hardest wingers to play one-on-one, just because he's, he gets so low and he can spin off a lot of checks. So you got to be really aware. You can't chase him or run at him. He'll beat you if you do. So you got to be really aware. I find, especially out of the corners and down low. But off the rush, he's pretty dangerous too. So he's obviously a guy who on their team we circle, and you got to know where he is all the time and know when he's on the ice.
John, what stands out the most to you about the way Boston has started this season?
Well, I think they've obviously been a good team for a long time now. So very similar, style to their game, and I think the confidence that they play with. Obviously Pasternak's off to a tremendous start. They're just solid throughout their whole lineup. So, just very consistent, obviously, especially, to be getting the results that they're getting. The way they've started, you got to be consistently at a high level. So, be a great test for us to continue to build off the other night, and just making sure our game continues to get better and play that we need to play to make it hard on them, and continue, like I said, to build and play well, and hopefully that leads to obviously a good result.
What do you appreciate about the way Bergeron goes about his business? I know you're always trying to stay ahead of this curve.
Yeah. And
this guy keeps winning Selke trophies.
Yeah, I think it's just obviously he's got a tremendous mind for the game. Just really good understanding of it. I think he's got a lot of really good skill sets, but for a guy that's probably not known for his skating. I wouldn't say he's a bad skater, but he just doesn't have to really skate that hard just because he knows where to be always with and without the pocket. So I think just that knowledge just allows him to be ahead of the game, ahead of the next play because of his knowledge of where to be. Tremendously underrated how strong he is on his stick in all areas, face-offs, with the puck, without the puck. He's just really strong on his stick and his skates. So something that I've noticed from him. So, but mostly just understanding the game so well that he's always just kind of ahead of the play. Doesn't have to use so much energy or have to skate so hard to get where he needs to be just because he understands it well.
Is there anything that you can attribute, one or two things that you can attribute about yourself in your start this season?
Yeah, you work on stuff in the off season and come into training camp. Just obviously trying to build momentum and feel good. The injury wasn't ideal, but just tried to use the situation as best I could to prepare myself. So I just like the way that I've responded from that. Tried to really focus on being a little lighter, a little quicker on my feet. And like I always said, just to try to be, just focus on how the process of my game is going in all three zones, and you do those things while those habits are strong. You let your instincts kind of come out, and obviously I believe in those, and confident in my ability. So I think just the way that's all kind of come together to start, and now to just like every day, just continue to push the envelope and stay on top of those habits and how the process of my game is going.
Where have you seen the difference, John? Have you seen it in those spurts and that quickness, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think just I think my game below the dots has always been a strong point for me. And I think it's always really important to not forget about your strengths, understand that there are strengths for your reason, and to continue to work on those and improve on those. But I think for me, continuing to just be a little quicker getting up and down the rink with and without the puck. So, hopefully create some time and space, help play the game a little bit quicker. And when that happens, like I said, you want your instincts to kind of come out and be able to read the game and make the plays. offensively, defensively, the way you need to, and hopefully when you start making good reads off those instincts, good things start to happen, and just continue to play that way. I think our power play has been building as well as the season has started. So continuing to work with our group, obviously playing with really good players and playing, pretty much every game, with Willie, and he's obviously a tremendous player to play with. So, I think all those things have gone well.
Your game between the dots, and that's what you're famous for, from the dots to the net, or wherever that from junior, world juniors, all that. Where does that come from for you? Where does that drive and determination come from to be hard around the net?
Maybe that's just my my natural skill set, playing the game as a kid. And the way I think about it, to score goals, the puck always has to get to the net, so it's not a bad place to be around and to be strong at. Obviously, you want to be able to score. It's nice to score from distance and have versatility that way, but always the puck has to get to the net, and that's where a lot of the opportunities lie. And to me, it's the best place to play is when you got the puck in the offensive zone close to the net, in the middle of the ice or below the dots. I always like to think it's some of my lacrosse background as well. Playing with a lot of older kids, and I think just the physical nature of the sport and learning how to roll off checks and use your body really well and move through traffic and whatnot, I think is something that's I've noticed over time that probably didn't understand when I was younger, but makes a lot more sense to me now.
It's obviously different for everyone. At what point do you consider it not really early in the season anymore as a player?
I don't know. I don't really try to look at it too much that way. I think, we talk a lot about just, having a really good day today and getting better today and having an opportunity and maximizing that opportunity. And then when tomorrow presents itself, it's kind of the same type of thing. So, obviously as the season goes on, the runway with the points you can earn and the games that are coming becomes less and less. So there's probably just less room for error. But each and every day is as valuable as the one that's already happened or the ones that are coming up. So I think you just try to be present with where you're at and build from where you are and try to get better. So, we still have over 70 games, I believe. So not try to really think about it in that type of context, but just on having a really good day today, prepare well, know the challenge ahead, and get our game where it needs to be.
The power play, as you mentioned, is coming together. We've seen a lot of different looks. How did that goal, your goal, the hat-trick one, come together in the reverse bumper there? How did you see it unfold? Did you know the goalie had lost his blade there? I did not know he lost his blade, so obviously a fortunate circumstance that you'll take advantage of. So I just felt the way I kind of set up on it, I think Austin just had a look on net, or shortly before that, recovered the puck and just felt there was a little bit space in the middle, and just gave them a look, trying to make myself available to attack the net that we hadn't really presented in the game at that point or really much this season. So just kind of really just went off instincts a little bit there, just trying to get available. Obviously knowing Poppy's elite skill set and reading what I'm doing and just trying to get open for him. 11th hat trick, do you keep souvenirs from them? Do you keep a hat? No, I don't. If there's anything, it probably would just go right to my kids. So, but nothing this time around. But it was a good feeling. Obviously nice to contribute. Your youngins getting old enough to realize when dad's had a big night? A little bit, or they just say they saw me skating or something. So, getting a little bit more better understanding of it. So it's a lot of fun to share those moments with them, or sometimes collect a puck or something and bring it home for them. And I think that's cooler than anything for them. So it's definitely been a blast watching them grow and just be able to share my passion and what I do with them.
Sheldon, is there anything that you can admire about the Bruins, the way that every year for like a dozen, they always seem to be concerning this league?
I think every team seeks consistency and wants a shot at being a really good team year over year. So to that end, they have been exactly that. It's a credit to their organization. Probably mostly the credit would go to the players and their leadership group and the consistency that those guys have performed with year after year. So that I think both in the the way that they play with commitment defensively, and that being the foundation of who they are. And you just see that remain consistent despite, coaching change and all those kind of things. They stay true to that while seemingly, adding to their offensive game. There's a lot of credit, I think, goes to the leadership group and how they just stay with it. And there seems to be a lot of loyalty and a lot of commitment to that organization that the players show year after year.
So when it comes to a coach with a new group, like on the other side, it's different from when you came in. But what's the number one thing you want to instill in a group early as a new voice?
I think it's. It's hard to say. I think every group is different. I think it's sort of probably getting a feel for where the group is at and what they need the most, and tackling that area. Sometimes it's a tactical thing. Sometimes it's just a freedom thing and letting the players kind of do their thing. I don't know the specifics in Boston. I know looking at it, it seems to me that a lot of the defensive things have really remained the same. I know Monty's spoken to that a little bit. That defensively they've been so strong. They really haven't touched a lot of things there. I know they have some consistency in the assistant coaches that have remained there. A couple of people that have remained consistent there, and they've embraced that. The penalty killing is extremely strong, and offensively that they're thriving.
What are you noticing the most about the way they're playing on offense to start this season?
No, I'm just seeing, obviously they've had some people out and still have some people out that are really important to them, but you look at Pasternak and the way that he's playing and just the pace that he has and the confidence that he's playing with. He's driving a lot of things for them, but I think they're getting contributions from all lines and producing at a real high level at 5-on-5. So that's really fueling a lot of their wins, backed by the fact that they've given up virtually nothing on the penalty kill. So they're not getting scored on a whole lot, scoring at a high rate themselves, and that's leading them to a lot of wins.
Timothy's back tonight. What's your expectations for him?
I just hope that he can come in and find a groove and just get going and pick up where he's left off. And, like we were talking about yesterday, it is an adjustment coming back to play in the league. He's still a young defenseman and doesn't have a great deal of experience here, but he should be confident in how he performed for us last season, and he should be excited to come back in. It gives us another really good option at both 5-on-5 and penalty kill. And he has the ability to play against good people, and he'll have to do that here tonight. Gives us another right-hand shot in the mix. So lots of positive things there, but it's just really good for us to get another guy back to increase the depth on our back end.
Coach, Hockey Fights Cancer Night tonight, been going for over 20 years now. What does it say about the community coming together each year to raise money for this cause?
Well, it's obviously a very important cause. It's a little bit even, it hits everybody differently, of course, in their own personal way. It hits a little bit differently this year with our connection, Rodeo Namaroff, and his fight that he's in. But I think hockey as a community, one thing that I think you can certainly say is that when hockey rallies around something, they really pull together and do great things. So I think it's a terrific initiative that the league has really embraced. And I see it all the way through. I mean, even in the youth and minor hockey rinks, you're seeing the pink tape and you're seeing all sorts of things. It's a great opportunity to bring people together to raise both awareness and money for, obviously, a very important cause for a terrible disease.
Any update on the Rodeo?
No update except he has returned home to Russia. So that would be the only update I have there.
To play this season? Is that in the cards for him, do you know?
He's got a big fight on his hands here.
Sheldon, what's next for Robe Kubel if he clears today?
I think it'd probably be fair for that process to play out before I comment on that, other than to say that I really like the player. We really like the player. It hasn't worked out for him the way that we had foreseen in terms of the opportunity and the role that we had for him. I know he hasn't played to his own expectations, but we do like the player. We'll just have to see how that shakes out today and maybe talk about it more after that.
What stands out to you about the way Tavares has handled, obviously we see on the ice how he's playing, but off the ice, everything the team has been going through early this season as the captain, steering the ship?
he's just remained consistent, and that's who he is. That's what he does. He's very steady and coming to the rink and just going through his own preparations. You know, and as the captain, he's had to be the guy that's taking in a lot of information from his teammates and communicating that to, whether it's to myself or other members of the coaching staff, and you know, you take some really strong voices out of our room, you know, that we've talked about with Muzzin, and you know, Spez is not back this season, though he's still serving a very important role for us. But you know, having guys in uniform, it takes on a little bit more there. You know, Matthews and Marner are young leaders, are really taking steps in that regard, and obviously Morgan Riley is someone that he relies on a lot. But to see him manage all that and still perform at a high level and still put in his own work to be ready for this season says a lot about who he is as a pro, and it's really been great to see for him in my position, for a guy like him that just continues to work and push, and clearly is not satisfied with anything that he's done to date in his career, or even to this season. He's continuing to work, including yesterday. He's asking for extra work and wanting to get things in. So he's very focused.